This is another video, an ASMR video about Sydney. Sydney is a really beautiful, diverse city. It's I'd say it's a smaller version of New York City. It's kind of the same. Well, I don't know. It's got a bridge. It's got a lot of buildings, and I always make it a thing of mine whenever I'm there to climb the bridge. It's a really good exercise, and the views are really pretty amazing. I haven't done that thing where you can walk on the actual arch. I haven't done that. As you can see there, a lot of people do, a lot of tourists. There's also this spire, or whatever you call it, in the city. It's called the Sydney Eye. You can do a walking thing around that. It's very cool. There's that spike thing. That's called the Sydney Eye, and you can do a walking tour around the outside of that. And I'd imagine it would be pretty windy up there. So yeah, I've walked across this bridge many times, and it's always like really enjoyable looking down at the harbour. And as you can see, that's the opera house, used for many different concerts and theatre productions, I think. I haven't been inside. That's the strange thing. I've never been inside it. And Sydney, the layout is really nice. There's always boats in the harbour, and just across the way there is I think it's called a Kirribilli House, and that's where the Prime Minister usually stays. I've been over to Kirribilli as well, and it's a really nice area. No wonder the Prime Minister spends a lot of time there. And it is very, as you can see there, very high up. I think, I only had 2 days, or 3 whole days in the city, so I try to make the most of it. And this was on my very last day, and I was just waiting, seeing how much I could fit in. I did heaps of walking on this day. I think I went to an art gallery. I love art galleries. And I went CBD, and the CBD, it doesn't look very big, but actually it is pretty damn big. It's very easy to get lost in there. And sorry, I'm just trying to think of things to say, talk about. I guess I should talk about, I went there to see James Cameron, the film director, give a speech, or he made this film documentary a few years ago about his dive to the Mariana Trench, and it was because it was in Sydney that he built his submarine that he used to go down there. And in the film it shows them testing it out in the Sydney Harbour, which was really cool. It's a very scary kind of film as well. I'm scared of the ocean, and I think I went there. It was like a source of inspiration to me. Just overcoming fear in general and going down and challenging the odds, and succeeding. And it was really inspiring to me. And James Cameron is it's really inspiring as a filmmaker as well, because a lot of the time he gets a lot of bad press for his films going over budget, and everyone expected Titanic to be a major disaster, and it wasn't, because he had a reputation of going, pardon the pun, overboard. Everything had to be perfect, and there was a lot of problems on that set, and it caused it to go over budget, and the release date was pushed back. Titanic's one of my favourite films, and Avatar, it's the same situation. It was the most expensive film or whatever ever made, and then people thought it was gonna flop because it was just, the story was weird, and 3D wasn't, they didn't know if it was gonna work or not, and then he blew everyone away with that film. And again, Avatar 2 is in production at the moment. It's probably going to be 10 years between films, and I just bet that a lot of critics are going to go, they're going to try and make negative press about it, saying it's the 3D fad is over and everything. But yeah, it was a really inspiring talk that he gave, and just about his life and his films, and it was just an amazing privilege to see someone you admire so much in person. And so this is Luna Park, and there's another one in Melbourne, but you always know it's very identifiable because it's like that giant face at the beginning of the park. It's just like a theme park, pretty much. It's not too big. And the weather was really nice. It was pretty chilly as well. But yeah, I was walking around a lot, so I was pretty hot. It's a very clean city. Things I haven't done that I'd want to do is to go to Fox Studios, but it's the movie studios where they made The Matrix and Moulin Rouge and The Great Gatsby, among other films. And it'd be really interesting to go on a studio tour, but I don't think they actually have a tour, which is kind of stupid. They could make tons of money doing that, but I don't think they have one. I didn't really explore outside the city because I've never gone outside the city limits. And we're coming to the end of the trip. And yeah, if you're ever in Sydney, I suggest doing that walk across the bridge. And this is they were filming an ad here, and this is it's called Martin Place. And a few months after I was here, there was the first ever terrorist attack in Australia. It's pretty insane. It was like a hostage situation in the Lint Cafe, and it was a siege, and the whole area was in lockdown. And I remember watching that on the news and just being scared out of my mind, like thinking what was going on and how the police were going to solve the siege. And in the end, it was pretty terrible results. But it's Martin Place is also where they shot The Matrix. That scene where Neo and Morpheus are walking along and they see the woman in the red dress. And that waterfall thing there is where they stood. And it's pretty cool. I always walk past that.